From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story tonight, sources have confirmed that parole was granted for one of the men convicted in the 1997 murder of Fairbanks teenager John Hartman.
That's right. Eugene Vint, now 34 years old, attended the hearing Monday. The decision by the board was delivered yesterday. However, according to DOC Parole Board Director Jeff Edwards, Vint's effective release date is not for another 5 years, on August 15th, 2019. The four men have been in the midst of a highly contentious post-conviction relief process after an alleged confession by another man, William Holmes, was made public last year. Vint, the only one of the four who had an ongoing appeal at the time of the post-conviction relief filing, claimed prosecutorial misconduct based on the recent findings by the Alaska Innocence Project. Now, family members of Marvin Roberts, another one of the Fairbanks four, confirmed he would be released on parole next year, 2015. Roberts, like Vint, visited to the parole board years prior to his actual anticipated release in 2013. They said he would likely go to a halfway house before being able to come home to his family. All four men continue to maintain their innocence.
A Fairbanks man will serve 1 year and 1 day in jail after robbing two men at gunpoint in February. 20-year-old Ronald Walls will serve the sentence as part of a deal on reduced charges of robbery in the second degree and conspiracy. Walls committed the armed robbery with two accomplices. Court documents say the three had been drinking alcohol and doing drugs. They then held two men at gunpoint outside the Safeway store in the Bentley Mall. He will be placed on probation for a period of 5 years after his sentence is served.
Completion of the South Cushman project has been delayed. The reopening of South Cushman to two-way traffic was scheduled for today, but that's now been pushed back to next week to complete work on signs, signals, and sidewalks. Meadow Bailey with DOT said they know businesses and travelers are greatly impacted by this project and that they are working hard to wrap the work up. The manager of the German food restaurant Zum Schwabe in the 1500 block of South Cushman said they have been struggling.
We have gone down to like an 80% loss on dinners and 100% loss on lunches Tuesday through Thursday. We've had to close the business. We're not getting enough business to pay the electric bill. I've got people that are waiting to be called back, hoping to be reemployed at any time, but when this started, I had to lay about half my staff off.
A forum was held last night on the ballot initiative to regulate marijuana. Ryan Grimes has that story.
The assembly chambers of the Fairbanks North Star Borough was packed with people speaking about the possible benefits and negative consequences that comes with ballot measure 2, or the legalization of marijuana. Lieutenant Governor Meade Treadwell organized several meetings across the state to discuss marijuana legalization, minimum wage, and Bristol Bay ballot initiatives. He says the public reaction either for or against ballot measure 2 was different depending on the community the hearings have been located in.
As we've gone around the state, we've gotten very different reaction. We had almost nobody in support, in fact nobody in support from the local area show up and testify in Bethel. But in Barrow and in Nome, we had a lot of local support for the measure.
Ballot measure 2 essentially makes the substance legal for persons over the age of 21. Marijuana activist Charlotte Green has been making appearances for every initiative hearing inside the state and was also at the hearing in Fairbanks. Green used to be a reporter for KTVA Channel 11 in Anchorage before quitting her job on air and revealing herself as the owner of the Alaska Cannabis Club.
I own Alaska's only legal medical marijuana collective, and I don't want to run a monopoly. Going and fighting for the people that are in my club and the people that can't get access to my club is basically what it's all about. These are people that are dying, literally dying. This is the only way that they found relief, and they can't get to it in spite of the fact that Alaskan voters decided to legalize medical marijuana back in 1998.
Local opponents against ballot measure 2 made several cases against the use of Mary Jane, such as lower than normal profit gains for the state, job instability, and the possible harms associated with marijuana advertising.
This initiative raises serious questions. Colorado is already seeing many unintended consequences. And we need to ask ourselves, why would we add another harmful substance to our state? And we need to ask, why do we need to rush into this? There's no reason to rush, and there's no reason we need to do this now.
This is Ryan Grimes reporting.
Okay, when we come back, we take a look at the municipal election.
Also, we have your weekly military report because we know it's hump day. All
That's
right, those stories are next. Welcome back to the Fbx Evening News. With the municipal elections next week, there are a number of school board seats that need to be filled. Tonight, we introduce you to two candidates vying for seat G on the school board. Here's Mike Schultz.
Dennis Gardella is a former teacher, but is now retired. He homeschooled his own children and threw his hat into the ring because he wanted to make a difference. Wendy Dominique has been with the school board for more than 10 years and wants to return for specific reasons. Which leads me to our first question. Why are you running for school board seat G?
Very horrific incident that happened last year in the school district, and it was very disheartening for all of us that was on the board. And I just felt that the changes that are being made, I would like to be a part of the implementation that's going to happen.
I've always had an interest in politics, so I thought I should do that out of civic duty. So I thought, well, I'll just go and sign up for her seat, and I'll just walk right into it. But then I found out she's actually not retiring, so I wasn't intending to run against someone.
Next question. What are your qualifications? Why would I want to vote for you?
I feel like that through the things I've seen and the experiences I've had, that I have ideas that aren't new ideas, but I think they transcend some of the fads and the trends that we've seen in education. And I want to express those.
I have the experience, I know the community, I know the do's, I know the don'ts. I'm hoping that with the new implementation coming along, that we'll be able to make things so much better for the district, not only for the students that's in the school, but for the community, so people can see that things like this can happen and we can rebound from it, and we can make us better.
The final question, if elected, what would be your first priority?
My main priority would be the safety of our students, to assure that nothing like this ever happens again to any of our students.
I believe that over time, there's a missing element that we could have had through education, and that is a fuller understanding of the people and the events that have come to make us who we are and what we actually enjoy today.
Well, there you have it. Now the choice is up to you. Go to the polls and vote next Tuesday. It's your right and your duty. Mike Schultz reporting.
10 years ago, there was a countdown clock started at Fort Greely to get the missile defense system going. Monty Bowen looks at the anniversary of the event in this week's military report.
In July 2004, the first anti-missile interceptor was installed at Fort Greely near Delta Junction.
10 years ago, we had a countdown clock here, so it was the entire community, Missile Defense Agency, all the subcontractors, the soldiers, the families, everybody was building from scratch. So there was this literally, physically, a clock with a countdown of 30 September of being ready and operational. So everybody working together as a community to meet that requirement. And on that day, we flipped the switch, if you will, and went operational.
The 55-foot rocket was the first operational component of a multi-billion-dollar defense system designed to shoot down enemy missiles.
People said at the time we were considering building missile defense here that this would just be a bargaining chip, that they would pretend to build it and then take it away. And frankly, we've learned because of the threat from North Korea, because of the threat from Iran, because of the proliferation of missiles that can be delivered from a container ship, that it's very important for the United States to have this deterrent power.
Those that operate the system celebrated the 10-year anniversary.
Alaskans can be proud of the role that we and our National Guard have in a very important mission for the country and our friends and allies around the world.
This is Monty Bowen reporting.
The Military Report is brought to you by Stanley Nissan. Innovation for all.
Okay, well, Mr. Cook, you know, Joe Cook, is up next with sports.
Yeah, he's got lots of volleyball, everything from UAF to the high school action from last night.
What is that?
Well, yeah.
Basketball?
Volleyball.
Oh, okay. Also a preview of this week's high school football matchups and more next.
Football?
Welcome back. Joe Cook here with your Interior Sports this Wednesday. The Natick volleyball team could seize an opportunity to turn their season around this week. Tomorrow they host Western Oregon, and then on Saturday face St. Martin's. UAF split with both of these teams last year. Of the three teams, St. Martin's has the only conference win. The Western Oregon Wolves are on a 5-game losing streak, while the Saints have won their last 2. Alaska is motivated to end their 19-game losing streak. Their last win was against the Saints last November. Head coach Mallory Larrañaga and the team are seeing improvement despite the lopsided win-loss column. Comes down to execution.
We've found a way to be aggressive and cut down on our errors. We've shown that for the last few matches that we're doing a much better job at that, and so that's something we've been working on. But now it's really about taking the most of advantage of our opportunities. You know, we have the same amount of errors and the same amount of attempts in sets as a lot of other teams, but we're not yet taking advantage of executing those points. And so now it's really time to get into that repetition of low error, high intensity, low error, execution.
And the high school football season will have its final regular season games this weekend. Local teams will be playing for bragging rights and pride this week. The big one on Friday is this year's Dog Bowl. Lathrop versus West Valley at West Valley Stadium. The Wolfpack enter with a 2-5 record, but nothing will make their season better than beating their rivals, especially since it will be senior night and homecoming for the Wolfpack. Number 2 Lathrop comes in with a 6-1 record, a Rail Belt title, and a 6-game winning streak. The Malamutes won the Dog Bowl last year, ending a long drought in the series in that one. And the North Pole Patriots will also be having senior night as well across town. They host the Colony Knights on Friday night. The Patriots have a 4-3 record as they fell to Wasilla last week, but they've won the SEC Conference and want to build momentum going into the playoffs. And on Saturday, the number 2 Owlson Ravens will look to finish the regular season undefeated with a 7-0 record. The Barrow Whalers of the Greatland Conference at 3-4 are the only team that stands in their way. The Monroe Rams will aim to end their season on a good note. They host the Valdez Buccaneers on Saturday. A win from Monroe will give them 2 wins in their last 3 games. A volleyball match last night featured a little sibling rivalry at Lathrop High School. The Malamutes hosted the Owlson Ravens in a non-conference game. Asia Doe is a senior for the Ravens, while little sister Tyra is a freshman at Lathrop. The Malamutes took the first set 25-23 and ran away with a 25-13 second set. The Ravens started strong in the third, leading 17-11, but Lathrop, they roared back and tied the game at 21-all. Tyra Doe got stronger as the game went on. She responded with 7 kills and had 4 in the third. It's the first time she's led the Mutes in kills all season. Lathrop wins 25-22 in the third to sweep Owlson. Tyra says she was looking forward to taking down Big Sis.
In our family, we have a lot of competition. We all play sports, so it's always fun when we get to play against each other to have a little family rivalry.
I was very happy because half the time we kind of waffle, especially if we take a first set. Usually we kind of back off and go, we have time. We don't have to worry about it, and we didn't today. We tend to think that we can just walk through a game and not have to actually work for it. So it was nice to see them come back and start working and looking for their options, so it was nice.
On the other side of town, there was a pair of volleyball matches that resulted in sweeps. The West Valley Wolfpack rolled out a full roster and defeated North Pole in 3 sets, 25-18, 25-11, 25-15. The Wolfpack saw Nora Trotman produce 13 kills, and Jessica Rice added 6 kills in their returns from an injury and an illness. West Valley is now 5-2 and 2-0 in the MAC. Also, the Hutchinson Hawks improved to 7-2 and 3-2 in the Aurora Conference after winning N3 over Delta. The Hawks used most of their reserve players in this one. Sophia Tallberg and Annie Titwell combined for 19 assists, and Danny Curtis and Angel Ochoa both had 5 kills for Hutch. Despite the 25-17, 25-10, 25-22 loss for the Huskies, Brianna Yelm she went 10 for 10 on serves, and Angelique Campos added 9 digs for the 1-5 Huskies. And the first ever interior flag football season has been well timed. In the final week of games, the young ladies sidestepped yesterday's snow and rain, and so Lathrop and Hutchinson just dealt with some cool temperatures last night. It was scoreless going into the third quarter until Lathrop's Cody Smith, she intercepts Cece Cota Sanchez and is able to take it 67 yards into the end zone, avoiding Hawks defenders along the way for the score. Kaylee Hoyas caught the extra point to give Lathrop a 7-0 lead. Hutchinson got into Lathrop territory in the final minute, but the Malamutes, they closed it out for a 7-0 win over the Hawks. Lathrop stops their 2-game skid and improves to 5-3 over the 0-8 Hutchinson Hawks. It's the end of the Wednesday Sportscast, but before I go, let's announce this week's Pro Football Challenge winner. And the winner is, as we get a drum roll, Patty B527 Interesting usernames here. Congratulations, Patty B. You getting oil change courtesy of Stanley Nissan. So far, it's been brutal picking NFL games. True Grit 69 is the leader, however, with 42 points. Then it's Nate Peter and Fireback. I have 32, and Mike Schultz, he trails with 29. And that does it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey, welcome back everyone to the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again, talking about the weather. And all in all, kind of a cloudy, gray day across the interior. We're looking at that to continue right on into tomorrow, it looks like, for the most part. And then also maybe a chance of some snow on the weekend. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. Taking a look at our photograph for night sent in by Val Stuve. Chattanooga Valley sunrise. You can see some, once again, nice colors here. The sun coming up through there. And again, as always, if you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. How about our almanac? Well, right now it's 39 degrees after our high of today of 39 degrees. The low last night, 36. Record high, 72. That was in 2003. 12 degrees in 1914. And the sunrise and sunset equals about 11 hours and 17 minutes. That's a loss of 6 minutes from yesterday. Taking a look at our satellite and radar, we have to keep an eye on this because this is the big storm down to the south. We're keeping an eye on that. That is expected to move up into the Gulf of Alaska around the Prince William Sound area. And as always, what happens in the wintertime, the circulation with that being counterclockwise will bring moisture in across colder air across the Tanana Valley, giving us a little better chance of seeing some snow, looking like Friday night into Saturday. So keep an eye on that. What else is going on across the rest of the state today? Well, for the most part, cloudy skies at Juneau, 45 degrees there. Ketchikan, 47 degrees and cloudy skies. Around the Anchorage Bowl, looking at more sunshine in Anchorage. A little rain falling around Kodiak Island and up and down the west coast. Cloudy to partly cloudy skies up on the north slope, 33 at Barrow and sunshine there. Lower 48 weather heading over the Pacific Northwest first. You see 65 degrees at Seattle, still not too bad around Las Vegas, 84 degrees. 91 in Phoenix. Thunderstorms that were over Minneapolis yesterday have diminished considerably. More thunderstorms, though, developing across parts of Texas and over the eastern half of the country, looking at a little shower activity around New York. Now, what's going on as far as the satellite and radar? Well, the purple and blue indicating colder temperatures and maybe some snow at the higher elevations of the Rockies there, then moving right on down into the Denver area, just mainly rain there. Also rain across the Great Lakes. And the overall picture is calling for more hot temperatures to return to California. Offshore flow with a strengthening, giving, once again, maybe some Santa Ana winds. Got to keep an eye on that. And the new jet stream outlook is calling for a big dip in the jet stream all the way to the eastern half of the country later on this week, which means cooler temperatures across the Great Lakes, but it's still warm out to the west. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. The northern section, snow and fog for Barrow, isolated showers in the Nome and Fort Yukon area. Here in the interior, we'll be looking at, for the most part, mixed showers for Fairbanks and also rain and snow showers for Healy and Delta. Over the southeastern sections, rain's moving back into the picture. A little rain in Juneau, but even heavier for Ketchikan. Well, out to the southwest, it looks like maybe partly cloudy skies in Cold Bay and Bethel, but cloudy skies at Kodiak Island. And down around the Anchorage Bowl, lots of sunshine expected, right on through Anchorage, Valdez, and Homer. Time once again for our weather fact for this week. And our weather fact is saying that in 1987, October record of 90 degrees was set in Seattle, Washington. Hottest ever October temperature they would have on record. Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our Kids Weather. And next week, Kids Weather will resume with a visit when we go to Chinook Charter School. Here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. Isolated rain and snow shower activity. 33 degrees the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast calling for 44 degrees with more isolated rain and snow showers. But then a change starts taking place as we move into Friday and Saturday. Pretty good chance of seeing some snow developing for Friday night into Saturday. And it might even be possible that we'll be scooping some of that snow with the snow shovels or other materials. And also temperatures once again cooling down. Oh, look at those 20s. 22 degrees by Sunday night into Monday, and daytime highs also dropping down to the mid-30s by Monday and Tuesday.
Okay, thank you, Mike. We have run out of time, so from all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a great night.